Hello, friends, and happy Friday. Welcome to In the Loop with Winnie and Greg. I'm Winnie's son, longtime financial pro, CNBC council member, and Forbes contributor, and host of Level Up, which can also be found on NASDAQ and a few other platforms. But today is actually a really fun day. I think one of the questions that Greg and I are going to be asking you is what you're going to be doing over the holidays. And I know many people this time of the year are looking forward to, enjoying the colder weather, hanging out in their pajamas, watching TV, or going out to the movie theater and catching that next big flick. And this is something we haven't done in quite a bit. So we're going to bring you some of that content. But before we do that, let's check in with Greg and see how he's doing with us today.
Hello, there I am. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hi, I'm Greg Nibbler, in case you don't know, longtime tech journalist, covering all kinds of things. And I love it when we do these kinds of episodes because we get so much interaction. Everybody can drop in their comments, anytime that you have something that you would recommend, please put that in there because we are going to be talking about some different television shows and movies. I've got a few here that I'm going to bring up. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't, but let us know, either way, if you like them, if you don't like them, or if you're interested in that, but definitely drop those in. Saying hello to everybody. I see the comments coming in. Hi, Sadiq. This is always so much fun being here with everybody. And it's kind of nice being here on a Friday too, going into the weekend. Maybe this matches up right. If you're going to have a nice relaxing weekend, something to watch, but we just appreciate everybody joining us. And it's always so much fun, especially being here with Winnie, who is, as you all know, amazing. And it's always great to be there. Yeah, I'm seeing some other comments coming through. So this is just, this is really great. I'm also noticing right now, I'm just going to be candid with you. I noticed my haircut in the intro versus now. I've been letting it grow out here as we go into the winter. And I think I may have gone too far. It's going to be a bit much. So
I feel like it works. I mean,
does it? I'm just like, that's a lot of hair going on here right now.
We see Sadiq joining us, and we see Joshua, and I see many of you joining from all different social media platforms. And as Greg has noted earlier, we are live. We're going live. We're on about 12 different platforms. So we got to start with the question is, what do you think about Greg's hair? Is it number one? Okay, answer.
Be honest.
One. Yeah. Is it number one, answer too long? Number two, is it just right? Or should he cut it? All right, so that'll be number three. So we see you here. So I feel, Greg, sometimes maybe we should be channeling our Elon Musk and just use polls for
right.
all
polls for everything. Let the public decide.
What should we do? So what should I have for lunch? I'll make a poll for that. And whatever. Yeah, that could be dangerous too.
Yes, it could be. Yeah, absolutely. This could be dangerous for me, depending on what the answers are.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Crossix Fighter. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be offended if people don't like it though. That's okay. I'm halfway there myself, just seeing it in the camera right now. But this isn't about my hair today necessarily. So we're here to have fun though. But I know we always have some news here at the top of the show when you always keep us up to date with everything going on.
I was okay with just talking about hair, Greg, but yes, we will.
You want to switch it just to hair?
We'll segue to the financial talk now. You got it. Well, let's see. I was kind of saying hair was actually a fun topic because I'm like, I have to deliver some not such good news, but I'm going to go there anyway. The Dow Jones is currently still open. The market is going to be open for a few more hours here. And in fact, 2 more hours to be exact. But the Dow is currently down 94 points and the NASDAQ is up 7, holding on. Oh dear, it was still positive. The S&P 500 is also down over 3 points right now. Unfortunately, no, I wish I had better news, but this was some information coming out where all eyes are right now on the U.S. economy and whether we're going to segue into a recession before the end of the year or in 2023. Depending on who you talk to, there's been a lot of recessionary talk recently. In fact, if you had a chance, you saw the CEOs of the major banks here in the United States, including Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, and whatnot, all predict a recession. The question is how big of a recession, how deep a recession, and will it actually even transpire? It's kind of like Greg's hair. We just don't know where it's going to go. You got to watch, you got to participate, you got to come to the show, and that's how you'll find out. Okay, holiday retail shopping, though, let me just say, is expected to boost up over to $960 billion. That's right. Considering that we're talking about recession and people being unhappy about the price of goods, it's also a little surprising that still so much money is going to be spent. In fact, in 2021, this is according to the National Retail Federation, holiday spending for last year reached 889 billion. So they're saying almost an additional $100 billion. So most of us are expected to spend about $1,455 this season. This is according to a study that came out from that big tax firm Deloitte, business agency Deloitte, and they're saying that, well, that's going to be kind of, what the average person will spend. So my question to you, of course, what does this mean for you? Does this mean that you're going to spend more this holiday season just because things cost more? And so you're really not buying more things, but just the cost of goods. So therefore it's going to cost more. Or knowing this information, are you going to try to spend a little bit less and try to decrease so you're not at the average? You're going to be above average, right? That means you're above average in a positive way. That means maybe you'll spend less than 1,400. You definitely don't want to overspend that money. You don't want to spend more than the average, right? So let me know what you think. I want to see your answers. I'm seeing Vicky Garvey joining us on Facebook. Like, thank you so much for being here, Vicky, saying that saving money nowadays. Sadiq is saying rockstar hair too, Greg. I know you saw that, but I mean, I feel like that needs to be brought back to attention here. All right. But before we get to the fun stuff, one more share. This is coming from Jeff Cox, my friend at CNBC. So this was released as of today. This is really important to talk about as well. And this is the idea of wholesale prices. Now, wholesale prices of a lot of goods in November actually, unfortunately, went higher than expected. It raised by about almost 30% higher than they were expecting. 0.3% higher than expected. So not 30%, 0.3% higher than expected, much less than I talked about. But nonetheless, the producer price index, which is a measure of what businesses get when they sell their products and whatnot, it increased by 0.3% for the month. And so now 7.4% from a year ago. So definitely actually I am right here. 38% surge in wholesale pricing, believe it or not, in the area of vegetables. So what does this mean for you? What it means for you is if you're buying the same groceries, the same goods that you need, that wholesale, the bottom line basis price of that good has increased in many places about 30%. So unless the retailer is just going to be very, very nice and keep their margins even lower, that means that things are just going to get more expensive. They went up in November. They're probably going to go up again in the near future. So that also means that, unfortunately, we're not quite there yet to see better levels in the world of inflation. So that could mean that the Fed could continue to increase interest rates aggressively. Maybe that isn't good news for those who are deciding, but what that also means is that you just have to be that much more careful with your budget and what you're spending, and really try to maximize getting the price of things that you buy on a day-to-day down, because that is impacted now by wholesale prices. So with that, I'm going to hand over the baton because it's time to have some fun. Ready, Greg?
Yes.
Let you take it over.
All right. So here is what we're going to be doing. So Winnie and I both kind of compiled a few different shows or movies. I don't even know what Winnie has picked, so it's a surprise for me as well. And then we're just going to share those with you. Maybe you've already seen them, maybe you haven't. Maybe it's a recommendation for something to watch. But as we said before, drop in your comments. Let us know what you think, or if you have recommendations, let's bring those up. Let's have fun, because we need some fun things to watch, right now. So the first one I wanted to draw attention to is actually one, I'm going to admit, I kind of discounted it before I watched it. I thought it was kind of a weird idea, and I was like, there's no way this is going to work out right. But then I sat down and watched it, and I realized I was wrong. This is very good. And I'm talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So if you follow along with Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy, of course, you probably
We love Marvel.
Yeah. And this is the holiday special that Disney Plus put out. I'm just to reiterate that too, I heard about this a couple of years ago when they were going to do it. Like, that just seems so strange. It is so good. It is really well done. I think it's about 45 minutes long, somewhere in that range. I don't even think it's a full hour, but it's great. It's fun for everyone. It's hilarious. And I don't want to spoil what goes on with it, because there is kind of one key plot point through it that's really, really cool. But I cannot recommend this enough. Like, if you were holding off on watching this, or if you had any hesitation, don't watch this. It's really good.
I'm 100% watching this. We are a big Marvel family on my side, and like this is totally up our alley. And by the way, since you're mentioning this, I should also mention, if you didn't hear, this on financial news, Disney's ad-free pricing actually went up as of yesterday. So take advantage of that. Still such a bargain compared to going into the movie theaters these days. So
Yeah,
this is amazing. I'm totally going to watch this, Greg. Love
it's
it, love
fun.
it, love it.
It's fun, and for any age too. It's a good one. It's definitely a lot of fun. I mean, talking about Disney Plus, there's so much on there that I didn't even put in here, because there's so many shows I could recommend. But Andor, also really great, really, really good. If you're a Star Wars fan, I think it may be the best one that they've done yet. But yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy, though, the holiday special on Disney Plus, that would be my first recommendation.
Amazing. I love this. So question for those of you who are watching, what do you think? Will you be watching Guardians of the Galaxy? Are you a Marvel fan? And if you are a Marvel fan, I'm very curious about what everyone's favorite character is, because this is a hard one for us. At our house, like, we're really big fans of Wanda, but like we obviously love so many of the other characters as well.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see, Greg, who's your favorite Marvel character?
Oh man, that's a tough decision to make. I mean, as a kid, when I growing up reading comic books, it was Thor. Thor was my favorite.
Thor was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man's always awesome too, though. I mean, Spider-Man's always right up there. So I think I would go with Thor just to stick with that. But really, I mean, if it's a good movie, I'm going to watch it. I mean, I'll watch anything they put out. I don't care even if it's good or bad. I'll end up watching everything that Marvel does. But yeah, I would say Thor is probably my favorite.
I love that because I feel like, Chris Hemsworth has done a great job with the Thor character, and I
Yes.
know that we had mentioned this earlier, like off the show last week. After watching his recent documentary work, I'm even more of a Chris Hemsworth fan. So yeah, Thor is for sure a great character. I love that they brought in Shang-Chi too. I really love the inclusivity of that. So yeah, so Crossix Spider is also saying favorite character is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I know
Yeah.
I've got a lot of Spider-Man fans. I know like some people on my team are big Spider-Man fans as well.
I feel like every kid out there ever, Spider-Man is their favorite character too. At least with all of my friends' kids. Yeah, they're all Spider-Man fans.
Right? I don't know if like this happened to any of you when you were kids, but when I was a kid, I loved to pretend like I could actually fly through the air in my dreams, when I was sleeping. Because it just sounds so cool, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man could fly, Kung Fu people could fly. It was just like seemed cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, anything Marvel is a lot of fun. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
What else you got for us, Greg?
You want me to go through mine? Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one, this one is a little bit more of, it's something that I don't know if it's getting a lot of attention, or maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. It's on Hulu. It's called Reboot. So this was actually recommended to me by my friend Ryan, and I ended up watching it. I went through the entire thing. It's a lot of fun. So the general premise is this. There was a television show that was in like the 2000s or like early 2000s, and they're bringing it back as a reboot. So it was a sitcom, and now this is what's happening. So obviously they've all gone through stuff during those years, and now they're bringing them back in to reboot this like popular sitcom that was around, which kind of mirrors a lot of, the reboots that we're seeing with all kinds of different sitcoms that were coming back. So that's what they're doing with this. But this is the backstory behind doing it. So you've got all these people that you definitely recognize. I mean, Michael Keegan Key right there, or Keegan Michael Key right there. He's always funny in everything that he's in. You've got all these different actors. Paul Reiser is in it. It's really funny because they're all kind of really full of themselves in a certain way, but they all have kind of their careers have kind of tanked a bit. And I don't think there's anything that's shown right now. Maybe that was a bad trailer. But their careers have kind of tanked a little bit, and now they all kind of have to go back and do this because they need money and they need roles. So it's really interesting, the interaction between all of them. I recommend this show. I think it's a lot of fun if you want something that's just, a good time to watch.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that. Well, I'll definitely put that on the list. All right, then I guess I will jump in because
Okay.
I have something that, Greg, I think you might like as well. And I want to say thank you, of course, to my producer, Curtis, for putting this on our radar, too. The National Treasure, Edge of History. Now, this one I think is something that everybody will enjoy. This is rated, I did some research. This is rated TV 14 because this is a series. This is not a movie. This is a new series on Disney Plus. I will mention that the first episode is actually executive produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who you know is very, very famous, but he's going to be doing the first episode. So I'm really excited. So this stars a character by the name of Jeff Valenzuela. And she's a 20-year-old dreamer and about, going through her family history, figuring out the secret of her dad, maybe her mom too. I'm not sure about that, but this looks pretty cool. This is sort of that, the continuation of the National Treasure film series. Now, this is supposed to premiere next week on December 14th. So this is very, very soon. It stars Lizette Alexis, Lyndon Smith, Zuri Reed, and many, many others. So I think these are some newer names, but this is sort of the new generation of talent that we're seeing. But this actually looks really cool. I saw the premiere. I feel like this is one of those feel good things. And I think it's something that, especially if you have, younger people in your household like I do, I feel like this is very family friendly. Of course, it's rated TV 14. So you'll probably want to hang out just to watch a few episodes and get a feel if you feel this is important. I mean, appropriate if you have younger kids like I do at home. I have a 9-year-old. But yeah, I feel like this is a fun show to watch during the holidays.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely down with that. I mean, I like all the National Treasure movies. I'm a sucker for those. They do need to get Nicolas Cage to do a cameo in there at some point, but which who knows, maybe that does happen. That's cool. I didn't even know they were doing that, so that's brand new to me. I had no idea they were making a television.
And so, Greg, you're absolutely hit it right on the mark because I actually was reading comments to the trailer, right? And a lot of people said the same thing. They're like, you got to bring Nicolas Cage back, at least like in the beginning or somehow. So we'll have to see if that's the case.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, Nicolas Cage is having kind of a resurgence anyway right now, I feel like. So this would be a good time to bring in. But regardless, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I will definitely be watching that. Yeah, thank you. I had no idea that was coming out.
Thank you, Curtis.
Well, I have one more. Do you want to do one more and then?
No, please go ahead.
Okay, I'll go with this one. All right, and then we'll finish with yours. So mine is one that's coming out here soon, and you're probably starting to see more commercials for it. And this is again one I was a little bit hesitant to think like, is this going to be good or not? And it is the new Avatar movie, the sequel. That's what 12 years later, I think.
It's been 12 years.
I think so. Actually, I didn't double check that, but I believe it was 2010 when it came out. Maybe it was 2009. But Avatar, The Way of Water. So coming out, looking at once I saw this footage, I mean, it looks amazing visually. I mean, visually, this is really, really cool. And it's taking so long to get this thing made and get this out. And I know they already filmed some of the other sequels that are going to come after this as well. But this looks just like a fun one that I would want to see in a theater. Like this would, or in a really good screen when it does come out. But this is going to, I think, get me to go into a movie theater to see it. Probably in 3D, probably in whatever the highest sound quality you can get. Sadiq's confirming 2009. Okay, so 13 years that's been since the original Avatar. This one looks fun. They're exploring more of the world of Pandora, going outside of that, reading some of the reviews too. The people, I have not seen it myself, but reading some of the reviews from other people just talking about it. They're like visual masterpiece, mind blowing. Never doubt James Cameron. Apparently, he really delivers on this, and this is one that I'll be seeing over sometime over the next couple of weeks when it comes out. I believe it's December 16th, so it's next weekend when it comes out. I will definitely be seeing this. This is one that I would recommend just based on the reviews alone and just looking at it. It looks like a fun experience.
This looks like an amazing experience. I will mention
Yeah.
though, because we are also sharing on Mother Mom. This is rated a PG-13, so this could be certainly a great family option if you're looking for something over the holidays. And I gotta mention, I mean, I think like you're right. I think nowadays there's a lot of options if to do this, but this one. Not only that, it's just how impressive that they were able to do this because a lot of this was filmed during COVID or
Yeah.
during the pandemic, and so you got to give it up. I mean, talk about the effort that they did to make this happen. This is something that I'm all for supporting. How exciting!
Yeah. I mean, and just seeing the visual effects too, because clearly they've pushed the boundaries on that. And that's always neat to see where you can go with that, how they can create these worlds and still make it seem like it's realistic. So yeah, I'm excited for a couple of for the technical side of it, but also just for the movie itself.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, I'm gonna channel this forward. And for those of you who are watching, let me know so far if you can in comments which of these do you want to see. I don't know about you, Avatar is definitely on my list right now. But what are these that we share with you? Do you think, oh, this is definitely one I'm gonna try to see over the holidays? Because I'm gonna add to one more in the same reign of like going back into the theaters. I think this is one that I'm really excited about sharing with all of you. And this is Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Now, for those of you wondering, this is PG rated. Okay, it's just PG. This is coming to theaters December 21st. So right after Avatar. So you could watch Avatar one week and you can see this another week. But this one, let me just say selfishly, of course, there's a reason I just share this. In our household, we are huge Puss in Boots fans. And in fact, one of the first Puss in Boots during the whole Shrek, many of my clients actually worked on the Shrek franchise as well, going over to Puss in Boots. So I definitely have more of a connection to this. But let me tell you, easily, this is my kids' favorite, probably animated series is Puss in Boots, and this is coming. This is it's called The Last Wish. It's coming to theaters on the 21st. What's really cool about what DreamWorks did with this, DreamWorks Animation worked on this, is that they brought back a lot of the stars that you love hearing their voices. So Antonio Banderas is back.
I was
Salma
just going to
Hayek
ask
is
that.
back. Yeah, because I mean, you couldn't have Puss in Boots with a different voice. It's just like I feel like his voice is iconic. I mean, how do you feel about that, Greg?
Oh, Antonio Banderas is awesome. So anything that he does, I'm going to be a fan of. Yeah, this is not. I will admit I have not been following the Puss in Boots series, but I certainly am a Shrek fan. So this is one that I will probably watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I can see you do that. Now, I'm going to say for those of you who have Disney Plus and who have kids at home, they have some incredible Puss in Boots series on, I think, on Disney Plus, maybe even on one of the other streaming platforms as well. But I will say that I've had to watch almost all the series because my kids absolutely love Puss in Boots, and they're actually really good. I find myself sitting down watching one episode and I'm like, okay, let's continue because it was that good. So let me know what you think about that. I said, Vicky's saying I will go watch child friendly film. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vicky, for that feedback. Cross-X Fighter says that Cross-X Fighters also remembers Antonio Banderas. I think he's still very, very active in making lots of great projects. So yeah, this was great. I'm all for this. So I'm gonna leave it at those two because those are the two that I think I'm excited to share with all of you. But I think like Greg, you got me thinking about this. I'm actually kind of excited. I think I'm gonna do something really fun with the whole Avatar thing.
Yeah. I know. I was just thinking about that too while we were talking about it. I'm like, I haven't actually rewatched Avatar in who knows, maybe since it came out. So I probably need to rewatch that before I go see Avatar 2.
Yeah,
That's gotta go
I might actually just not rewatch the first one and just go. But I'm excited because I think I can actually take my kids to see this one now. Since it's PG-13, and it'll be fun to see their reaction.
Yeah, see what it's like, and feeling it in the theater. I'd say go where they have like the best sound too, so you get that full feeling,
right?
Like Dolby Atmos or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But for those of you who are not ready to get back in the theater yet, not to worry. We totally understand with the pandemic still ongoing. Do know then, of course, I will leave this with all of you. You can also check out a lot of drive-through movie theaters now do play these new releases. They won't have quite the audio that obviously Greg had mentioned earlier, but sometimes I find like, you can get there. You can get close. And then of course, if you need to, then you can wait and hopefully it comes on Disney Plus or Netflix in the future. But if
Yeah.
you want at least that initial just to see at least the graphics and everything that could get you into the theater. So, there's ways. There's ways if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Vicky says I should make myself an avatar. You know, we should. We have a very, very talented graphic designer. So always saying, and be careful what you wish for, because we might be able to do that. We'll have to check with Curtis on that for sure. But yeah, Greg, I love the shares that you made this week, and lots to think about.
Yeah,
we should do these shows more often.
a lot of stuff. And I do want to say thank you to everybody on Twitter who has been leaving recommendations, because I posted this morning just asking for them. There's so many good suggestions on there. Obviously, we can't go through all of them, but if you want, if you're looking for some more shows, just go to that tweet and take a look down, and you'll see a whole lot of really good recommendations.
Oh, I'm going to definitely check that out. And actually, that's what we do. We should probably tweet this out a few days before we go live. And that will be, maybe it'll be something we'll start doing in 2023. Thank you so much, Greg, for inspiring this.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So there's some recommendations that people had. So it's Ryan always has some good stuff. Shout out to Ryan Juanita there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, this is fun. Some good stuff to check out here over the weekend and coming up in the next couple of weeks. And as always, I just want to say how much I appreciate everybody joining us. And Deb, thank you very much for being a part of the show today and joining in, and everybody who's watching on all those different platforms that you mentioned, Vicky, right there. Just really appreciate everybody. And it's really appreciate you, Winnie.
Oh, I really appreciate you too, Greg. You're such an incredible co-host and such a dear friend, and not to mention one really super talented on-air powerhouse. So, I mean, I still find it to be a gift. I'm still excited that you still want to do the show with me today every day. Yeah, so it's such a gift. But Deb Coleman, and just special shout out to Deb on Facebook Live. Talk about amazing humans. She and I connected over Twitter. She runs a great tweet chat. She participates in my tweet chat. Such a great person. Lots of fun. But I mean, I feel like it's the holidays, and we're just so grateful to be able to spend some quality time with you all on this show. And like, definitely, I just feel like, good people coming together. I think the magic is really that I was able to convince Greg to do the show a while ago, and it's just been fun ever since. So
it's been, and that's it. It's been fun ever since. So continues to be fun. And thanks everybody for being a part of the fun.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah. And then do us a favor if you can. And we'll send a special shout out to CrossX Fighter, Vicky as well, and several of you who have shared our show the last couple of weeks. Definitely saw that. I want to say a big, big thank you for all that you do. And I think we're going to come back to you next week. So definitely stay close.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.